our dashboard. So first thing, how do we access our dashboard? We go to WP as the name of the website / WP admin. Then you click on login. So this is where you put in your username and password. So once you get into your dashboard, what I usually do is I try to clean up things and make it very okay. So I'm going to cancel these. Then how do you turn off all these, or if you don't need them? First, you come to the top of your screen and you click on all this. You untick it till you have what you want. So most of the time, I'll just keep the site health. So as you install more plugin or theme, you would have more things to adjust or to add or remove. So next thing I usually do is I do come down to settings, general settings. So currently in our Figma design, this is the name of the brand. So this is what we are going to be building, the landing page. We're going to copy it, even if, yes, it's a shipment. We're going to copy this and just paste here, rapid cargo. Then we can just simply use excellent shipping. Okay, so after that, we can choose to bring in a site icon now. Site icon is what shows at the left or right side of your site. We're going to bring that in later. We check everything here, the email, everything is okay for now. If you want to change all this, you can change all this yourself. For me, this is okay for the now. Then the writing, so the most important place right now is just the permalink. We can all check these ones later. So what is currently here is the post name, and that is what we are supposed to have. If there's any other thing selected before now, you can change it to this, because post name is the name of the website / whatever page it's going to be, right? So I don't think we can change anything else because it's already on the right one. So looking at this, there are more things that we're going to bring in. Then I do used to go to plugin, and I do, okay, this is, so all this Hostinger stuff you can, okay, so we're going to remove this and we're going to leave the Hostinger tools. If you may be asking, I do like to disable this light speed in the beginning because it usually give issues. Then if you're thinking of, okay, what's the whole Hostinger thing, so you can come here, you can see tools and you can see the version. You can put the site in maintenance mode. That if you build your site, if you host your site with Hostinger, you are going to have this, so you see everything that you want. Okay, so for now, this is everything we need to set up for dashboard. I don't think, okay, yes, this is the last thing. Let's just delete this. First of all, move it to spam, so it's going to recognize something like that. And even removing it to spam, we can now delete permanently. So then another thing again is why there would always be comments is we're going to go to all posts. This hello world, we're going to trash it, so that there's not going to be an entry point to making comments in the site. So we delete this. So for now, this is everything, and if there's anything, we are going to add it as we work on the course. In this chapter, we're going to be talking about appearance and settings. So the first is we're going to come to appearance and we're going to click this. And in appearance, we're going to add the theme that we're going to use, because the theme is going to control everything in the website, the looks and everything you can imagine. So we are going to use Cadence for this, and we're going to activate it. You can install the AI starter. So after installing, you can use, if you have a paid theme, you can use this, or you can use the classic. So if they say we're building from, let's say, for free or scratch, we can use any of these templates and you can speed the process of your website. So, but we're not using this. The next thing we are going to check is in the site, we are going to make sure that everything that we are going to use with the customizer, we are going to customize it. And in the customizer, this is where we're going to change things like color, text, header, footer, everything that is going to be on this site. So without wasting more time, let's get to the next chapter. In this chapter, we're going to be installing the necessary plugins. So we're going to come to plugins. So other plugins are already here. Then we're going to click on add new plugin. And in adding new plugin, we are going to search for, you can come down to popular plugins. Majority of the plugins that you might want to use are going to be here. So for example, now this for SEO, you can install it. Then if you want to back up your site, this is also very important. For security, this would have been nice, but I think they are now on pro version, so you have to pay up ahead. Then okay, you can also use this for backup, for analytics and everything. And this is also very important if you have snippets and codes. So I'm just trying to give you an overview of the most important ones. And okay, so we're going to search CMP and we're going to install this. This is going to help us put our site in coming soon. So this helps in case a client, you don't want your client to see whatever you are doing. The client, you can use this. If we're building with Elementor, Elementor has this coming soon page. We're building with Cadence, and Cadence don't have that feature. So we're going to use this so the clients don't, it's not always cool for the client to see the different stages at which the site goes, or whatever you're designing it for, right? So your users, because if they see, they feel like, okay, the site is looking nice, not nice till the final result. It's always good to show them the final thing. So we're going to install this, then we're going to come to Cadence. Sorry, with the E. We're going to install Cadence block. And let me see if there's any other Cadence stuff that we're going to need. Okay, for now. So if there's any other stuff that we're going to need, we're going to install, and then I can come to all my installed plugins. Then I can start activating them one by one, or I can just click on box select. Then the ones I need at the moment, I'm going to turn them on. So I only need these two blocks and this. Then I can click on action activate. I can single-handedly just press them. So depending on whatever you want to do. Okay, now they are activated. The next thing I need to do is I need to come to CMP settings. Then you can see the coming soon stuff. So I put it in coming soon so that my site can still be indexed by Google and the rest. So next thing I go to content, I change this to logo. So I'm going to export the logo of the design. So this is the logo. It has two set of logos. That's the one that has black and the one that is transparent. And we're just going to export as PNG. You can export as SVG. So it all depends on the format that you want. So let's export as SVG. Okay. So another thing again we need to export on time is this. So we're going to also export this, but let's remove it from this place. So it's going to be on its own. Let's check if it's on its own. Yeah, it's going to be on its own, and we're going to change this to 500 by 500. Don't worry, looks squashed. It's going to be amended. The reason why I'm doing this because it's the normal size for a favicon or a site icon. Okay, so I think we're good to go. Then we're going to upload the logo because we're on a white background. We're going to upload. We're just going to upload the two logos first. So upload the three logos we just took here, and we're going to use this. So we're going to save this, and we don't need to do anything. We're just coming down here from the solid color. You can keep this color if you want, but we can just make it pure white. Save changes. Then you can preview. So you could see this is what your client will see. So how are we sure that this is what they will see? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come back to settings. You can turn it on here. You can turn it on, enable it here. So when you enable it here, we're going to save. You can have the option to choose the whole website, homepage only, wait list and the rest. So, but we are not doing that. So come back here and put it in the whole website. So click on savings. And how are we going to show? How are we sure that this actually work? So what we have to do is, how to, open a private Ignito browser. So we open an Ignito browser and we're going to copy our shipping. So as you could see, this is like a visitor. This is what a visitor will see pending when we give them access to the full website. So this is good for clients, or if you don't want your fans to see what you are doing, or you want to put your site under maintenance. Yeah. So the next thing is we are going to just check up on the cadence block. We're going to go to settings, skip. So with cadence block, this is what you get. You get a role layout, you get a form, you get advanced gallery. You can go through all this, right? Then if you go for pro, you can get more blocks in order to give you more functionality for your website. If we have any other plugin that we need to install, we'll always do that along in the class. So let's get to the next chapter. In this chapter, we're going to be customizing the theme. So if you come to appearance, you have different options. You have the theme, which we already have seen before, and we have customizer, which we already show you, and this is where we are going to come to. And you have the widgets. This is anything widgets, anything extra, like the widget on your iPhone or your Samsung or Android, depending on which one you are going with. So widget just gives for extra functionalities, and you can have a widget on your sidebar, footer, and any part of your website that you want it to be, but majorly on the footer, sidebar, even sometimes on your header. It all depends. So we have the menu. So this menu, preferably, we're going to set it up in the customizer, but most of the times, most people or people do set it up from here. We're going to do that in the customizer. Then we have the candies itself, where you have everything that the site has, that from the global colors to branding, typography, header, layout, footer. So for now, this is going to suffice for us. And next, we're going to go to the customizer. So this is the main place. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to work on the color, then the header, footer, and till we are done with this. So let's get started. So the first one is we're going to work on the color. So as you can see, there is a primary color and there is a secondary color depending on what palette you want to use, and you can save them. So this color is kind of similar to ours. Let's use this. It's kind of similar, but we're actually going to pick the exact color. So we are going to go to our Figma design, and we're going to select the exact color. You can see it's kind of similar to ours. Then I am going to add this as our main color. Let's check something. Oh, this is lighter. There's something I want to do. This is lighter. Then I'm going to make here tick. Let me go back. I want to copy this to make this let me place it here to make it tick. Then we're going to make it even much thicker. Bring it down here. So this is the color code. You can make use of the color code. So the next thing is here. We're going to go back to our design to pick the exact color code. Copy, because we already still copied it from here. And we're going to select all, paste. So as you can see, this is it here. So this is more like primary, and strong text are going to use what we have in our design. I think it's pure black. The strongest of our text is pure black, I guess. Okay, not totally pure black. This is what we made use of. Let me confirm from here. Okay, yes. So we made just similar to almost what we have here. Then you have different other colors, strong text. You have strongest text. You have followed by. So I think here we would have this. Still put this here. Then we have medium. We have subtle, and the rest could flow. So let me check our design if there is any other. Normally you can side put up all the colors that you need, but primarily this is the main color of the website and what we use to design. So I think that will be all on colors. So you can come down here to say, okay, the side background, you don't want it to be this, you want the side background to be pure white. You could see that it just changed. Content, you can leave this. Sometimes you can put an image here if you want. It allows for images or gradients depending on what you want. Same thing with the side background. So if you want your side background to have particular texture of image or gradient or something, you can do that. But we are leaving it with color. So then links, everything you have here, if you come down to content link, you can choose if it's going to be highlighted, Right, you see that's going to change. Then if I put no underline, it's going to change. No, it's going to change to the main color. Then we're just going to leave it in standard. Then we're going to click on publish. Don't always forget to publish, very important. Then I don't think we have anything to do here. Then we are going to go to buttons. Buttons, I feel we might have to still come back here due to we've not used any block button in the website yet. So, but this is more always more like the default button size. So the only thing sometimes I do is to come to turn off is the shadows, but you can keep the shadows if you want. So we're going to see how this looks like. If it's not favorable for us, we're going to remove it. So we would come down to typography, and we're going to check the typography that we used in our design. So we used Inter for almost everything. So we're going to come here from system default. We're going to change this to Inter, right? Then the body, we are going to reduce this to 14. Then this is more like the header settings. So if you want to personally change this from different sizes to whatever size you want, I think H1 we did 36. Yes, so H1, H2, and different size of the site that the site text that you want as the font in the site. So as you are done with this, click on publish and you're going to click on next, next, and we're going to go to the header. That's this guy here. So we are going to come to design. If you need a background, we can put a background, but by default, I think our background is going to be white. Let's see our design. Okay, so design this header is white. Then the next thing that we are going to do is you have settings for transparent header and you have settings for sticky header. And the good thing again is that we also have different sizes. Like if you want it to be for desktop, want it for tablet, want it to see for mobile, whatever view you want to see, we can see everything here. But we're always going to do for web first, then optimize for mobile later. So we are going to come here and we're going to click on logo. This is where we're going to put the logo. We're going to select this. Since it's white, we're going to select this, and there's no need to crop. You just keep cropping, and you have this. So why it's showing double is because we have this option here. We can just choose only logo, which is the most important. Then we can reduce the size to this. I think this is okay for now. Site icon, remember the icon I said 500. So we can come here, select the site icon, and it will come up somewhere around here. So click on this, you could see it here. Come in, same error with, okay, probably have to re-upload this. Okay, so I'm increasing this to 512 to see if this is going to push. Then I export. Let me export it as a JPEG, a PNG, also the transparent stuff. And let me export. Probably, maybe that's why it is cocooning a little bit. So we click on save. Then we are going to select site icon, this. Then we are going to select this. Oh, we didn't even do anything and it went up straight. So don't forget to publish, and we're going to go back. If it takes you like back here, all you just have to do is come back to your header, and we are done with the logo for now. Yes, if there's anything, one thing with designing is you're never really done until you finalize things. So we are going to, the next thing is primary navigation. So when you select your header here, you are given this option, right? So you are given this header stuff here where you have the top role, where you can have a top role, you have the main role, which is what we have here, and we have the bottom role. So for now, for the header, primary navigation is going to come soon when we are going to be in menus. So the next thing is we're going to go to footer and check if there's any settings. So for now, the only settings I just feel is we just editing this and removing this because you don't want to keep the name of the site. So we are just going to remove this. Yeah. So on the long run, on our footer, we would check our website to see what we have in our footer. Okay, so now in our footer, our footer is partitioned into one, two, three, four, right? So we can actually do it, this way, or we can actually use a widget to do it. Meaning, what I mean this way is, if you come to footer, right? So if you click on, let's say you didn't select anything, let's just hide this, and this is your customizer, you are here, right? You can just come down here and select your footer. And when you select your footer, right now it's giving us option to have four, meaning we can put different things in this section one after the other, and we can lap them, right? So, but in this stage, I feel and I think I prefer a widgets. So the widgets would be able to allow us to edit what we want to edit. So once we have every details for our footer, that's the widget, we are going, because the widget has to do with building this, almost building the site itself. So once we are done building our site, we're going to build a widget and just add it here to make things very easy. So that is for our footer. Then general settings, you have layout. You don't really necessarily need to touch this until it is very important. So whatever is here is by default okay. So you have your sidebar. We don't have sidebars here yet. So in case there was a sidebar, this is what we're going to use it for. Then image settings, then top to scroll. Top to scroll is picture. Let me turn it on so you see what it is. So if we had, okay, so top to scroll is always at the bottom here. I think this is, let's see if we have, so we don't have any this thing, but top to scroll is always at the side of the page where you can say, okay, when you've gone down to the page, you can say, okay, I want to just go back up. We would just leave this, and we leave it like this. Then I'm coming. If we need it in mobile, we'll check if we need it in mobile in the long run. So outlined, fill. Let's just keep it in outlined. So don't worry, once we have a long page, I would show you what this does. For now, it's just the button that takes you up on your website if you've done so much. So let me see if there is any page that has been created. Okay, privacy policy. Let's see. Okay, so now this is it here. So once you've gone down, you can easily click it to come up of your website. So you know what that is. So let's go back. Then 404 page. This is when there's an error or something. This is your 404 page, and if you want to edit whatever you want to edit, this is it here. So I think we're going to put it in full width, unboxed. Then I don't think there's anything for us to set. Just to click on publish for now and go back. Then comments, to remove comments, website field, just in case we don't need anything comments for now. Breadcrumbs, you can leave it by default, like depending on whatever we're going to use. So you just click on back. Then social media links, so any link that has to do with social media on your website, this is where all of them would be listed here. So we're going to go back. Then performance, nothing too much, so you just leave here for now. Then we're going to go to posts and page layouts. So post and page layout, if you come to page layout, this is page layout. You could see, let me use this as an example. Okay, so as you're seeing here, whatever we do, we're going to effect it. So if I say, normally I do use to remove show page title. Let me publish so we could see it in real time. Okay, so you see that it has removed that page title. Then we have unboxed. I usually leave it in unboxed and full width. Let me refresh. Then you could check that there's a spacings between this side and here. So if I refresh, okay, let me put it in normal, unboxed and normal. Sorry. Okay, yes, unboxed, normal. Then you have this, everything is looking fine. So okay, then if you want to Content vertical spacing. You may ask, what is this? So if I click on disable, let me show you. So there's a space between this and this. So if I remove it, you could see there's no space. For by default, you can leave it. So if you want to personally edit it in each pages, you can remove it and do whatever you want to do. Yes, because on pages you don't need it. Then show featured image. So each website has an image that comes with it, so you can put this, then you can disable it. But most of the times I usually disable it here so that on each page you turn it on yourself. So we're going to go back. Then single posts is for things like blog and the rest, but for now we don't need to do anything here for now because we don't need it really. Then you have your archive layouts. These ones are for blog. We don't have any blog attached to the site for now. Then you have search results. So when you search for something, how is it going to look like? So we're going to keep it at normal and we're going to keep it at unboxed. And for now, we would keep it here. So yes. So you come back. Then site identity. It's the favicon. Then you have our menus. This is where we're going to create our main menu. So we're going to come here and click on create. I'm going to call this main menu. Then it's going to be primary. So we have primary, secondary, mobile menu. Sometimes your mobile menu will be different from your website menu in a way, right? But sometimes just keep the consistency. Then we're going to click on primary menu and we're going to click next. Then we're going to now add menus to it. So this is a home custom link. We are going to create our home page, home. We're going to call it home. Then after creating the home page, we are going to bring in other pages. So we're going to look at our design and check what page that we need. That is very, very important. So we need tracking package. We'll do that. Then our service, then contact us. So we're going to so this is going to be links because it's going to be a one-page website. Because once we click on our service is going to come down to show you. Don't worry, when that time comes, I'll show you what that means. Same thing with contact. When you click it, it's going to take you to contact at the bottom. So we're going to start with this. So this is a full page itself. Track package, very very important. Then we have custom links. So we're going to put hash here because if you don't put hash, it's not going to let you add anything. Then we are going to call this, I think the first one is our service. We're going to click on add. You can see it's added there. And we'll show you how we're going to go about that. Then we are going to have here contacts. Okay, then we're going to click add. So for now, this is the pages that we're going to be using. And if you want things like privacy policy and the rest, they could be here too. Then we click on publish. As you could see, it our fine guys are doing their justice here. So we're going to go back and we are going to, if we go here, whatever we get, we set would come under here and the homepage settings. So instead of we just saying by default latest post mean blog post, so we are going to click on static page and we are going to select our home page. So our home page is going to be our start, meaning anytime someone click www.ourwebsitename.com is going to come straight up to here. So we are going to click on publish. Remember, so that we publish each and every one of our steps. Then CSS, additional CSS is not needed as if you want additional functionalities to your website. So we're going to touch the header a little bit. So the header has two sections. I'm coming. That's we have the button and the header is positioned in the center and we have our get started button. So let's get that done. I think that is one easy one for us to fix now. So we have this we don't have issues with the main site. So we have to also turn this to yellow as active. Let's do that quickly. To you come to design, you can see on initial, like where it's going to be, then on hover, when you hover around it, and on active. So on active is what we are going to choose here. So once it's active, like if you're on this page, it's going to indicate that this is going to be the page. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a button. So because it's a free plan, we're limited to so many things. So we're going to add a button. So this is where we now know how our button looks like. So we can just click on here and say get started. So you could see it's actually quite big. So we're going to click on here and we might come back to our button. Remember the settings, our buttons, and this is where we do things a little bit. So we would have radius because on our site we have the radius there. Then we are going to reduce the text size to 14. Good. So when we reduce it to 14, it gives us a good nice button. So that is it for our button for now. So you could see that our button has come to life. So working on the customizer is not a one-time thing. So we are going to still come back here to make sure we are both optimized for web. We're also optimized for tablet, and we're also optimized for mobile and making things seamless. So for now, we are going to move to the next chapter. Okay, so for the customizer, we would have to work on the footer. So we left the footer initially. So the footer has three sections, which is this, then has this section, has this section, has this section. So we are going to put this and make this work. So the first thing that we're going to do is we can originally create this with the let me show you. So if you come to the home page, let me go back to the dashboard, and we come to appearance and we come to widgets. Say for example we want to work on footer. Even if I'm to use rows and say okay, let me make four rows, you could see that we can't really build anything here. So there's sometimes when building a site, I usually have a page I usually call just startup, build up, whatever name you can give it. The idea is this page is for anything backend work, or it's not live, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this, so it's going to be easy for me to place it on the website. So now, before we get to the customizer, we would have to build out the footer here. So I'm going to first of all come here and bring in my role, and I'm going to choose 4 rows, and I'm going to choose this. And next thing here, I'm going to just make it 80, 80, 80. So once I have done this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. So first here is just a logo and text, right? So I can have this, then at the bottom here. So let's get this done with. So let's quickly copy the name. I'm going to use one of WordPress sample tool. Might be preferable for the job. Let's test it. So that's the media and text. So the media and text, I want to try it. I'm not a fan of, okay, so okay, I'm supposed to put it in the box here. So media and text, media and texts. I need something that won't give me much issues. Let's go to library, and we can pick one of these. Yeah, then we put in the text. Okay, I don't know how much customization this thing has. No. Okay, resolution full. Then the text is a bold one. We can use this. Let's make it H5. Let's give it H6. It's H6 not too big. Let's just give it paragraph. Then we're gonna make it mid. Okay, good. Then we are going to make it bold. Let me see this 18. Let's give it 18. Okay, this is not bad. This is not bad. This is not bad. This is not bad. There's distance between this and this. Oh no. Okay. No. Just padding. Okay. That's why most of the times I don't usually use it. So, but we get this. At least that's the most important thing. Okay. Okay. So this is the most important thing. Then we would add a, what do they call this thing? Paragraph. Okay. It's because of I'm selecting the section. So I'm going to look for advanced text, put it under. Then I'm going to change the advanced text to paragraph. Then I'm going to come to my design. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it here. So you could see we've gotten that. What else? It's underneath there. We have a text. Let me zoom in. This text. Okay, this particular text, I would love if we use the one from our customizer. Let me see. Let's go to our customizer. Our customizer has one at the bottom. So if you come down to the sides at the bottom, we have this. So I'm just going to come here and I'm going to copy this. Let's see if it's going to implement, because I have not tried doing. I just copy and replace with this. Let's publish. Yeah, we can publish this, but not public to anyone to see. So let's see how it looks like. Ah, it came out like this. This guy did not try. Okay, so instead of this, let me delete it. Then let me see if this would work. Okay, so I just found out that this has to be with the footer, because this is a HTML footer stuff. So we have to add it manually and update it manually. I usually prefer the automated one. So okay, it's supposed to be rapid, not even because our site is rapid, not quick. Yeah, rapid cargo. So we are going to adjust that. Okay, then this we are just going to remove it and just use a normal text to write it out. We can still use, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to leave this one here. Let's leave this one here. Yeah, anyway, let's leave this here. I like this a lot because it's automated. The next thing we are going to add, not we can, we are going to add is pages. So these pages, to an extent, we are just going to make it links, right? Because you can basically so if you had about us services, you can just come here. We would call this, first of all, put this advanced header. Let's call this pages. I think we used 18 here. So I'm going to call this body, and I'm just going to put 18, and I'm going to make it tick. Okay, I just noticed something as well. I think there is a padding at the top of this guy here. This is side padding, this is top and bottom padding. Let's check the margin at the top. Okay, I think I found the guy, so just align it to none. Then you have your top and you have your bottom. So if we want to give it space at the bottom, we'll just come here and we'll just add padding at the bottom, and this is bottom padding. Give whatever it is at the bottom, let's just give it 10. Okay, I think that's fair enough. So pages, here we were. Then let me see if I do menu. I usually don't like page lists. I said it. I usually don't like page lists. So what we would do is we'll have to manually do this. Yes, I didn't want to feel lazy. Well, we have no choice than to inherit. So, and we're going to make sure there's a margin at the bottom. Sorry, not at the bottom, not at the top, at the bottom, at least one space, and you see why. Then you can manually impute the rest of the stuff. So what we have here is we have about us. If you have an about us page, you can just put it there, and the good thing is you can put a link wherever, whatever link that this will take you to, you put it here and it will take you to about us. Then I'll just duplicate, See the distance. So if you check the distance between here to here, it's actually difference between here to here. Like distance between here to here, difference between here to here. So it's got the margin I put initially. So I'm going to quickly impute the rest. Then if you have a link to them, you can always put it there. Okay, once we've done this, I think I like this. Then I can just come here and you know me, I love to copy. So I paste it here. So I'm gonna call this what do we call it here? Office. I'm gonna call this office because we already have made something similar to that. We're going to call it office and the office address. We're gonna delete all this. We don't need it. Delete all this. Hope I'm not deleting the one I need. Yep, and we put it there here. So you have everything you want. Note these sizes are equal. It's just that this has more information than this. It's looking a little bit not balanced in the eye. So the last part is social media. So the same thing we've done for one. All we just have to do is copy and we're gonna paste and we'll call this social media. Okay, so calling this social media, we can remove this, delete, and we would, let's see, socials. Let's see if social icon would give us what we want. Okay, it was going outside. So first, let's just give the random social icons. That's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Okay, think LinkedIn, Twitter now called X, Facebook. What did they call this other guy? Let's just give it YouTube. And the last but not the least, Instagram. Okay, so this is to make them just in one line. Logo only. Okay, sorry, all okay, all black, then all white. Okay, well, I'm usually not a fan of using anything because you know when we are building with Gutenberg, we have our cadence block and we have the normal Gutenberg. This thing I usually don't use them, but this has not been bad. I want to make them smaller. I think small is better. So this is it. I think this is marvelous. This is sempe. So now creating this is not the problem. The problem is now bringing it to your design. So all we just need to do is copy this. Remember how we get here. This is our footer one. We're going to delete this because we did not use this. Delete. We're going to create this and we're going to paste. So this is it here. So now let's bring this up to our footer. So now I'm going to refresh so that it's going to show. All right. So we go down to our footer. We click on edit. Then here too, it's already, we just need one, just one. Then we're going to add, I think we get one. So this is how we get one. Immediately we added it. This is what it showed us. Then we're going to click save. If there's anything that we need to do, I don't think there's anything we need to do. Then let's check our design. Let's go to our home page. There you could see this. There's something I'm noticing. Let me see if that is a general thingy. Okay, so I'm gonna try something because I don't know why for some weird reason it's just centralized. So back here, I am going to make sure everybody is left aligned. Everything's in here is left aligned. What else you guys want from me? Okay, let's align it to the left. Left aligned, left aligned. Okay, page U2, left aligned, text left aligned. Do the same thing here. Left aligned, text left aligned. Social media, do the same thing here. Left aligned, left aligned. Let's publish and see. That's updated. Let's see. Okay, this guys, it's crazy, man. Okay, so you could see we did that and have solved our problem. Then social media is not showing because of I don't think there is anything. So we'll just put hash there, so they will just feel like there's something there. If you don't put anything there, it will not show. So hash is just give it that idea. Okay, let's see there, voila. Then we've published and we'll refresh here back. So I feel like okay, we can make the padding stop here, same thing here. So it's going to look well arranged. So how do we do that? You might not notice it here. So for the text, we would come, or we should just do it from the general body itself. And I'm going to give it the right padding. Let's just give it XXL and see how it looks like. Okay, that is a bit much. That's large. Let's check again. Okay, I think this is fair. This is fair enough. And we'll do the same thing to Office because Office has long characters. Then we'll refresh. Good. At least this time around, it looks a little bit much presentable. Then we have this here. I think the distance between those two are kind of much. I know why. So we can come here since it already has a normal setting, so we can just leave it at that. So there's already spacing, so we can have it here. You see? So now this is much pleasing to the eye. Then the next thing we need to finalize how this looks like, and let's see if this is not. This is definitely going to be perfect on mobile. I don't think I didn't have that for a doubt. Okay, for mobile, is that how you look like? Okay, for mobile, that guy is really big. So, let's switch. Does this particular side switch? This guy doesn't switch. Didn't have that for a doubt. Okay, I know how to get to there. Just switch one, and does not have a different size setting for mobile. Let me just take something. Okay, this is mobile. Let me just reduce it like this and see if it's going to affect. It can go down below that. Full size. Let me see if I can a medium. Okay. The problem is if it works for mobile, what about desktop? You didn't make any change on mobile. This is the problem I have with this kind of. Okay. So we're a little bit limited with what we have here. But if you want to make it much better, you can make use of info. I wanted to try this, but I don't think I would ever try this in any design. You can use info. What we used here, you can use it for here, right? So that would be a better option. Because I was like trying to see if this would be much better and see if we could do a nice job with it. Another thing we can do again to make it much smaller is by uploading a size much smaller than it. I think initially in the beginning we had a much smaller size. Let me see. So let's see if we can reduce this and see if we can use this to get what we want. So if we have this as this, then we export it, no, not as JPEG, as PNG. Because the size of the images matter too. It can help you streamline the size of that thing. You see, as I did it like that, it shrinks it a whole lot. So let's refresh and see if it did any good for us. Yeah, it actually did. So the smaller it is, the better. So that is one way you can escape it. And the good thing, it may not even change for the desktop. So that's two ways to go about it. So I don't think we did any other thing. Everything here looks very fine on our customizer. So if there's any need for us to come back to our customizer, we'll come back here. So the next thing we have to work on is our tracking page. In this chapter, we are going to be building the home page. So how do we, access that? If you come down to pages, right, you have the option to see all the pages. So if you notice, we have the home page, the tracking page, and we have the privacy policy. Well, if you notice, we don't have the service page and contact because these are custom links. You can from here edit the page. You can come to quick edits to do whatever you want to do, and you can trash it and do all the needful around here. While if you also come down to your menus, let me come here, you can also see all your menus. And if you want to create a new menu, like a footer menu or something, you can create a new menu and switch it. So like I was saying before, you can create it here or you can create it in your customizer. So now, one thing with WordPress is for one particular function or to get to a particular destination, you can use several places. So now, in editing our site or editing our homepage, we can edit it from here, or if we come to the home page, we can edit it from here. So majority of the time I do come here to the home page because imagine I'm here instead of me going to page and everything. So I just come and edit directly, except for places that are custom links. So now we're going to go back to the home page and we can close this. Then the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to click on edit page. So currently we are building with Gutenberg, which is WordPress default page builder. So in a website, we have the page builder, which enables us to build the pages in the website. And we have the theme that controls the beauty, appearance, and everything in the website. So if we click here, so we installed Cadence block in order to give us more functionalities. So if you click on this, you can see everything that we have here, everything. And this is even going to give you an understanding, even if, okay, let's say you are not a web designer from scratch, you can just come here and say, okay, well, what's the role? We have sections, we have accordions. You can even Google all these things to get to understand them. But the fastest way to understand them is to drag and drop. So that's why they call it a drag and drop builder. You have the menu where you have things like adding the blocks, just like building a house, right? So you can add your blocks and everything. Then you have the ability to edit, but you may not use this. This is back and forth. And this is more like if you've been into Photoshop or Illustrator or any design tool, you notice that there's what we call either you have your list, then you have your layers, depending that's for Photoshop or for Figma, depending on the tools that you are using. So, but for WordPress, for Gutenberg precisely, you have this list here. So everything in this page, you would see everything here. Then you have the library where if you don't want to, build from scratch, you can just bring in items, or if you have a templated item that you bought, you can use it from here. So if you just click on it, so you could see it so you could see that if you, for example, now you want a hero section and you don't want to bust your brain on, creating hero section from scratch, you can see this and, that's cool, but it makes your work fast. So the next thing is you can come here and you can click on this and you have tablets, desktop version and everything, and you have this to check the website. So whatever you've done, you can see it here. We'll be using this a lot, and whatever you do, you can update. So you can update your site, and we have page settings. The page settings, like in our customizer, if you want to override the settings, you can come here and say, okay, you don't want this to be in default, you want this to be enabled. Like for example, now featured image, we can keep it enabled, default, depending on the way you want it to be. So the next one is cadence block control. I rarely visit this place, but if needed, I would do it. I prefer doing it to the customizer. Then we have for each, it's like let me use design tools to explain it. So for example, now whatever I do here, this is the settings. It's like property settings. So this is for every block item here. This is the property settings. So this is it here, and You have other tools that you might want to check out yourself. For us, for now, this is the most important thing. So now we're going to look at our design and say, okay, what do we need to do? So now in our design, we look at design in two sections, right? Before building this, you might have an idea of how this goes. So you have two sections, section 1 and section 2, but this is a role. This here, it's a role. One role with two sections. So whenever you are building your site, just have it in mind. So that's why you're having section 1, section 2, one role. So this is role 1, role 2. But mind you, sometimes the terminology would have to change. Sometimes some people tell you, how many sections do you have in your website? I have one section, two sections. That's meaning they are describing it in a holistic view. But when you are designing, you have this as your role and your sections. Don't get it confused. So now our priority is designing this particular page. So now, what do we need for this particular page? We need to export it. So we are going to come here and select the image. So this image, we're going to export it. So we're going to come down and click on export, and we're going to export it as, I'm trying a new thing with SVG, right? So we're going to download it. And mind you, the size of your image matters a lot. So if your size is very big, your site will be slow. So we have to try to make sure it's as low as possible. Then I think for now, we're just going to deal with the background. So the next thing we're going to do first, we have to bring in our role. We're going to come here and we're going to drag our role. So you can do this, or if you don't want to do this, I think one of the quickest ways, this button here. You click on this and you click on role, and it's going to ask you how many, and what's your layout, that's how many sections you want. We want two, because that's what we want. And as we've agreed to this, we are going to have this. So now, like I said, so whenever I click on anything, it gives you its properties, right? So if I click on an empty space, you could see that the properties is not, settings is not showing anything. So, but if I click on this, this is the settings. And in most page builders, you're going to have three sections: the layout section, the styling, that's the color, text, and everything. Then you have the advanced sections for, you know, things beyond, like the padding, the margin, and some other things. So, and if you're coming from Figma, you already have an idea of what padding and margin is. So, well, I would illustrate it as we go. So the first thing is we need to make sure the top padding and the bottom padding is very okay. So we're going to come to advanced, and we are going to, first of all, I think I'm going to change this to this. I'm going to give it 80/80 for now. You would see why. Once I give it 80/80, I am going to click on the bottom, and I'm going to come to style. So because of we have an image at the back of the role, we're going to come here and we're going to select image. You can choose color. So if I don't want image, I can choose a color to be my background. Then, but I just want to use an image because that's what we have in our design. So I'll select it. Then I would take it here. So as you can see, it's looking like, okay, it's not balanced out and anything. So don't worry, don't panic. We are going to solve that soon. So then here, the first thing is we're going to use the theme content in our width. So we're going to do this, turn it on. And now the next thing we're going to bring in is the text. So if we come to our design, we have the text here, the header text, and we have the body text and the buttons. So let's get that done. So if you click on plus icon, you just click on advanced text. So click on text, and we're going to copy the details there. So then we are going to paste. So now if you notice, it's the color is white. So like I told you, everything you bring in here has the settings. So from the role to the text. So we have the general layout. If you want, we will change this to white, and this is supposed to be H1. That's the biggest text, and we can increase this. Yes, I think this is fair enough. Then we will duplicate this. You can duplicate. So as you design, you find shortcuts. So we're going to change this from this to small, and we're going to change it to this. So because this is a body text and we are going to copy our body text. So when we copy our body text, we're going to paste here. So we have things going for us. So you can choose to give line spacing. I'll give a line spacing. Yeah, I think this line spacing is okay. So then the next thing is that we are going to add a button. So you can click here. Sometimes it's always tricky to add another button to it. So if you tap on an empty space, tap on this, then tap the section icon, meaning it's going to set the section icon. So you can tap this and you can click on button. Then we click on advanced button. Then we are going to position it to the right. Then we are going to choose the theme because by default the theme already has its own settings. So we are going to give this button its normal name. So we're going to put this and we can duplicate it, meaning we have two buttons in this site, right? So we have this button and this button here. Okay, let's leave it here. Then I'm going to change this to the icon explore. Okay, so just put explore. So now we are going to change the color of this because that one is white. So on by default, it's the background is going to be white and the text is obviously going to be black. So then you can choose an hover state for the button. So when they hover around it, it's going to be this, and as usual, white. So if you hover around it, we've done this, and let's click on update, and let's see our site. So as you can see, this is what we have, and it's doing okay. It's doing fair enough. So we're going to change some things. So we're going to put this to full width. We're going to click on update. We're going to update our site. Then I think there is something that we need to do for this spacing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come to site settings and page title, disable, update, refresh. Then we're going to disable vertical spacing and refresh. So the vertical spacing is gone. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to make sure that there is a good spacing between this side and this side, at least make it look nice. So we're going to go back to settings and we're going to come here. Okay, we are going to come here and we are going to adjust this. So you can use your button to give this, let's just give it 120. Let me give it 200 by 200. Okay, so we're going to click on this and we're going to click on this. So I think this is fair enough. So another thing we need to do is, if you notice, this text is a little bit moving to this side and it's not too cool. So what we can do is we can click here on this section, the whole section, and we're going to come to advanced, and I think it's on the right side. Yeah, so on the right side we're going to hit it like this to the last option, and we're going to click on update. Then we're going to refresh. Then you have this, making it very clean and nice. So on your own time, if you now have links, you can put the link here and it will take it, and you can choose to open in another tab, or the link is a download link depending on what you want to do with the link, right? So you can say pop open in another tab, same window, then pop up, like meaning when they click on the link, is going to pop up a video and you connect it to whatever video you have. So without wasting time, we have done this section. Isn't that lovely? So we move on to the next section, or I will say role, so I don't get you confused. So one thing you can do is you can duplicate, right? You can come here and click on duplicate. And when you duplicate, you have the same thing. Remember, we have all the settings here and we don't need to, start beating around the bush to create everything again from scratch. So, but we have to correct this. We would come back here and we're going to put this back to reset. So it's going to be empty. Then we're going to delete this, the background. Then again, we are going to come here and put this to 80. So the distance between this one to this one, we're going to be leaving it at 80. Then let me give this color black so you could see it. So we have this. So we're going to check up our design again. And okay, we have this guy more of to the right hand side and the image here. So how do we going to do that? We're going to click here and we're going to click this and we're going to move to the right. So we're going to move it to the right, meaning it's going to come here and we have this here. I'll check. I don't think we need this here. So here we can have something like image. So we're going to come here and we're going to click on image, advanced image. Then I think we need to export him from our Figma design. So you see, one good thing about designing your stuff in Figma before exporting. So we export and we click on save. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to bring it in. We're going to click on add image, select and open. Good. So we have that in our site. The next thing that we're going to do is we have to bring in text that we have here. So let me see how fast I can do this. So we're going to bring trusted shipping. We're going to definitely reduce that to around H2. H2, then we are going to bring in the body text. So that's the body text. Then yes, we still have a button. I just realized that there's a button there. So the next thing is that we're going to bring in what we call an icon list. So let me just put list. I think if I'm not mistaken, yeah, icon lists. So we're going to bring an icon list in, and we are going to we're going to move it up. We're going to move it up, and we're going to put in the details. The first one is real-time tracking. Hit enter to go to the next lightning delivery and hit it to go to the next line. Then we have this. Click this. Then let's delete this since we already know that we have one. I think, and the English here is learn more. So you might be asking yourself, okay, how do we change the icons for this? So you click on everything and click on this, and I think I think that thing is called check. Yes, check, and the color is green, so we have to pick the exact color from here. So we're going to pick the green, copy it, and we're going to move it here. Then come to color, because this is a custom color we're using. I think it's just appearing once. Then you can have it. So let's click on update. We update it. Then another thing, if you notice, it is not aligned. It is like they are at the top. So we're going to click on this role and select this and click on align to middle. So it is more like what we wanted or what we have in our design, like we have it here. Okay, so this is the second section that we've created, or the second rule we've created, right? So this is it, and we have the first one, we have the second one, and we're going to the next one. So this next one, it's a little bit tricky in a way. We have like two sections in one. That we have one and we have this one. So there are ways to go around this, and I'll show you how to go around it. It's like, you know, a box in a box, right? So we are going to, in order to achieve this effectively, we are going to do that, a box in a box. So let me show you how we're going to do that. So now we are going to come here and we are going to click on role. So remember, normally we will just come here and just select normal role, but no, we want to create just one role. So now, so you don't get confused, let me come here. So now this is what we do normally. If what we've created so far is rows and two sections so far, right? So now the next thing that we have to do is rows, and we need to put another role inside here. So we'll be able to change contents. So what I mean change content is this one I would have to. So if there is anything I need to do, I don't need to touch the main role. So I can keep in one full role, it gives birth to other roles. So don't worry, you get to understand it. This is the main role here, which is this, and inside this section we have another role inside here. So now we are going to make this here black. The reason why I did this is normally I would have said, okay, let me go back to our design. Let me show you. I would have designed this role the way I designed this. I'll design this first, duplicate and design this, which is you can do that as well. But I just feel like one full row should be controlling everything that is inside. So that is why I go that route. We are going to make this dark. On our design, okay, we have a large text here. So we're going to to advanced text. No, I'm going to put an advanced image. Sorry about that. Then I'll paste the text. Don't worry, it's going to show. We're going to come here and we're going to change it to white. And we have this, and we can come here to change it to H2. We used H2 here, so let's keep the consistency with H2 there. So here we would still put advanced text, but we're going to convert this to a paragraph. So I'm going to make it white so you could see what we are saying right from the onset. So I'm going to select this, select everything here, and I'm going to paste here. So this is it here, and we can click on update. Don't forget that we need to make sure they are centralized, so they are like more in the middle. Yeah. So click on update, then we are going to, if you notice, you may be asking, okay, there was a highlight. Let me zoom in. Sorry for zooming in. So there's an highlight here. So how do you achieve that? It's possible. So all you just have to do is this section here, you can highlight it. Then when you come down here, you can come down to highlights here. Then you can click here. So when you click it, you see, voila, and you don't have to stress yourself. Or if you don't want, you can use advanced highlights. If you use advanced highlights, whatever you choose in your highlight settings here is what is going to appear here. So depending on what you want to choose. So let's click on save, and let's go to our home page to refresh to see if what we've done is there. So it's here, but we don't have, the spreading, that's the width. So how do we go about that? We would come here and click on here and click on this, publish, and you could see we have that. See how clean it is. So we have that there. And the next thing is the next section. So instead of us duplicating this full role, remember that we created a role inside this one section. All you just have to do is duplicate this role here. You see, we have another role and we can work inside. So instead of us duplicating this, so you see the reason why I did that. So we are going to have this one has three sections, 1, 2, 3. So we are going to do this. So how are we going to do this? So the first thing is we are going to delete what we already have here. Delete what we already have here. Then I'm going to come here and I'm going to make it 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. So there's what we call info box. So info box could give us that function that we want. So I'm going to come to info box. I'm going to select an info box. So as you can see, without stress, it gives us exactly the setup that we want. So I'm coming out to check this. So yeah, this gave us something similar to what we want. We can make necessary adjustments where needed. Or I think I still prefer this. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we are going to export this stuff. Yeah, export this stuff. I think this is the only thing that we need to be exporting, and we are going to export it. Export them. We click on save. Then we have to set it up first. So let's just copy this. So once we can set one up, the rest is also just going to be beans. So that title we're going to workshop it is very big. Don't worry. Let's just bring in the necessary things that we want to bring in. Okay, so like I said, this is the info box. Okay, so we have this, and let's start editing them one after the other. So you have the settings here, and let's bring in the logo. Currently, it's set to icon, so we're going to go to media settings. Then we select change it to imaging. So sometimes when you come to WordPress and you come to something and you see so many things open down, just close everything so that you have a clean interface, so you don't feel pressured or panic or something. So we're going to click add. I'm going to add the last three. Okay, I think we did not upload all of them. Let's work on that. So we're going to upload them, and we're going to select. I think I just deleted this guy. Okay, so I think it has deleted. Then we're just going to select this. So as you can see, we have this. So we're going to come to the container settings, and we are going to do a few things. So now the background, if you check, this is the background. So currently the background is transparent. So how do we do this? So you can actually do this without doing the transparent. But if you wanted the transparent stuff, you just slide down, right? But there's no need for transparent because the background we have here and here are almost the same thing. So what we just have to do is we are just going to add a border because there's a border in the design, and we're going to give the border this color. Okay, so the next thing is we have border radius too. So radius is this, how curvy it is at the edge. So we're going to come back to our design, and so if we want the exact color, we can actually pick it here. Let's just say for design sake, and though it's not part of our color, it's a custom color, we have to put it there. So it gives this subtle this thing. So once we are done with the background, we know that okay, we have what we want. The next thing is we check everything first. So once we are done with the container, we go to media. I think media, we are okay with media. Then we're going to go to title. So this title is quite big, so we're going to turn it on again. So with C, and input it in medium. Exactly, this is what we are looking for. And if there's anything else, I don't think there's anything else here. So you can always turn it off if you don't want it, but we want it in this case. And the body text, we would paint it, I think this paint it, give it a color text of that. Then let me see what this small is, 14. So 14. Okay, so we have that. We click on update. Then we check our website to see how it looks like. So we have that. So you have the link button. In WordPress, sometimes there's limitations. Normally, we should have had the ability to add a button to this, but there are limitations to what we can do. So you can have this as your link. Where you set up your link is here. So I don't know if the paid version has the icon here. So, but if you don't have the icon, you can just leave it at that. Or if you want to remove it totally, you can remove it. But I think we need it because of they have to, click to whatever page that needs them to learn more from it. So once we've done one, like I said, we can easily copy. I'm going to just put text here, then I'm going to paste. You could see we have this. So you know what we have here and here are the same thing in our design. So the left and right stuff are the same thing. So let's use the wordings, view details, then here too. Okay. So we can make it a little bit white so it doesn't look weird. Like at least there's not much difference. So let's just keep it at white. Then come here too, and let's just keep it at white. We are going to change this text quickly and the information that is going to be around it. Okay, so when we are done, we just click save. Then we can easily copy, paste. So now the difference is just in the background. So yeah, just in the background and the colors and everything. So let's quickly do that. So if you come down to the background, we will change it to white, then change our text to black. No, sorry. That's still the background. Sorry. Then the title, change it to black, and the learn more button, we are the view more details. We are going to change it to black too, or I'm going to change it to a subtle black. They're not going to be like overlapping. So this is our card. I think okay, it's just to change the wordings there. Then we have this, and let me copy the details. Okay, so we're going to refresh, and we have this. So this is good, and we move to the next section. So we'll be building this next section, and in order to achieve this, we are going to still duplicate this one that's here, and we're also going to duplicate this. So let's get going. So we're going to come here, and remember we said top and bottom padding needs to be 80/80. So we're going to do that, and we're going to put 80 here, 80 here, and we're going to click on update. So it's not going to look weird anyway. Okay, we have our 80/80 there, and making it look much better. Okay, so we're going to duplicate this. Then after duplicating, we are going to change this to white. Yeah, we're going to change this to white. I want it to be very sure. Then we are going to change this to black, and here too we're going to change it to black. But we don't need this anymore, right? So we're going to delete this. We're going to delete this section. So now we have, so I'm going to make this role here. You know, we have role here, we have role here. So let me show you. So we have this role here. So I'm going to make this row 3. There's a reason why. You would see it in a jiffy. So I'm going to make it 3. Seeing this, I'm now seeing if we had made it 3 here, this is going to be like the way it came down here. We are going to make it be in the middle, right? So we're going to put it in the middle, and we are going to make this one come to, when we select the section, we're going to put it here, and we're going to make it in the middle. So we are also going to, let me adjust this. Okay, I think I prefer this. Then we will centralize it. You can centralize it here, or if you come here, you can do the same thing here. Okay, so I think here too we would actually have to do that, because meaning we have to make it, be even together, because I feel here looked somehow. So we are going to adjust the right padding. I'm going to give it a padding by the right. Then click on update. I think this look much better. This look much better. Yeah. So we are going to put in the right word that's supposed to enter there. Okay, so like I always say, we can do one and make sure we can duplicate to the other. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to make it 2. So now, making it 2, we have I think here we would need right and left padding. Let me show you why. That's for this role here. we would not this first row, the second row. We are going to need padding. So let me say from the right. Let me just give it full from the right and full from the left. You get the logic now, right? So now we have to delete this because we are not using this. We are going to that we're not using an info box. We are going to use that's going to be tricky. So let's try something. In the design, we have this image and we have this. So meaning this is text, this is icon. They are two separate things. So what we can do is we can add a role, right? This is stacking. You keep stacking items inside an item. So we're going to add two here. And when we add these two here, we are going to choose the position to be at the bottom. Then choosing the position to be at the bottom, we are also going to let me bring in the text first. Advanced texts. Let me bring in the text. That's the text. Okay. So I think it's going to be around H3 or H4, something smaller. Okay, so we have this here and we're going to give it a color. And you can choose to use an icon, but I am not too sure. Let me confirm that that particular icon that we used in the design is in this icon library. Let's see. It's here, but it's not cycled. Arrow. I think it's called arrow, right? That's where the problem is. So okay, we can just use here this for then bring it in here. Then the size. Okay, let me see if I think I can go around that. Okay, if I put it on start, it does the job a little bit, but it's kind of misbehaving. So I'm going to leave it at default. So I think this does the job for now. Okay, so we have this, and another thing again is we need to make them align. So we would put them aligned center. So you get. So now this is for here. So now we have to talk about the background. And I don't think those things need to be black. Yes, they need to be white. They're actually white. So normally, if we had an image, we can just bring in an image and we would have it there. You get. So we are not using an image. If you want to use an image, you can use an image. It's going to be much simpler to use it. Okay, so yes, I just did that to give it a space between the sides. Okay, so now we have to give it a background. Let's first of all save so we don't lose our work. Okay, so this section now we are going to bring in the background. Let's export our background. Okay, so I'll upload the image. So I'm going to select shipments. My image is large. Okay, coming out to do something. Then remember we put this at the bottom, so that's why it's actually taking that shape. So I want to check something. Okay, so after bringing the image, you could notice that we have this. So how do we fix this? We can use what we have, a tool called spacer. So we just hit on an empty side, then we add spacer. So the spacer is not supposed to be added on that. It's supposed to be added on top of here. Yep. So we give it space until it hits where it's supposed to be. So now we are going to change this color to white and this icon to white. Then the background, we are going to, it's curved, that's radius. So we have border and we have border radius. That's too much. Okay, so let's just give it 30. So now once we've done for one, like I said, it's going to be easy to, do the rest. Right. I think I'm still having little issues with that border radius. Give it 25. Okay, good. So we have this. And if you're not too okay with how this is coming up, you can always choose to have a background overlay to add extra darkness to it if you want. So if you feel like this is okay for you, no problem. So I'm going to copy this, then I'm going to delete this. I'm going to add this, paste. So now all I just have to do is edit text. So I'm going to change the background. Okay, so now I'm going to change the background to the rest, and I'm going to speed this up because we already know how to go about it. So the other one is train. So once you've done this, I am going to duplicate this. So I'm going to come here and duplicate. So I just have this here. Then I'm going to speed this up too, so I can first put it. So after doing everything, you can always come to add a link here because this link will take you to wherever you want it to take you. So this is how you create this page. So the next page that we're going to create would have almost similar stuff like images. That's this. So this is quite direct. So we're going to use the other formats that we used here. So I think here would be the right way to go about it, right? So let's use this. Let's duplicate this because this is already giving us what we want. So we're going to duplicate this, meaning we have two of these, but we're going to change this to black. This is very easy. Once you've done one or two things, it's fairly easy to start changing things around. Just duplicate. Then we are going to change this to white. Then we're going to delete this because I think we just have only two sections there. So I'm going to duplicate this again. Then I'm going to convert this to paragraph. Then I'm going to copy the text. Okay, so we can come back here to adjust this a little bit to give it that, you know, I think this is better. Then don't forget to publish because we might have gone far and things may not go as are planned. So we have done this, and the next thing is to bring in the images that we have here. So we have image one. Let's just say this is one single image. You can choose to have them as single. If you are not lazy enough, you can just have them separate. So let's have them separate. Let's not be that lazy. Let's export this as PNG. Yes, we need to. We just use still is PNG. It's transparent. I just hope the file is not big. And we're also going to export this. Let me check the sizes. Okay, fair enough. We are good to go. So we would come here and I don't have to delete it. So whatever thingy that was done here would not, I mean thingy, whatever settings that was done here, it would auto reset itself. So we're going to add an image, advanced image here. Then we're going to select this. We're going to bring in, so we have these guys here, and we have this guy here. So we can give more priority to this other side. Let's just come here and give more priority to this side. Yep, much better. So if you're not okay with the priority, there's a middle button here that if you hover around here a little bit, you can see you can adjust things the way you want, but preferably this is fine by me. Then click on updates. So let's get to the next section. So we'll be building the next section, and the section is this. So we'll be working on this, and this is almost quite similar to what we have up. So we're going to duplicate and work with this. Let me first of all copy this so that we don't come back here empty-handed. So we would duplicate this because it's almost the same thing like we have. It just makes the job very fast. So you see we have duplicate of this. I'm going to be changing this to a white background. Then I'm going to be changing this back to black and changing this to black as well. Then I'm going to be changing this to this text. Then I'm going to go back to my Figma file. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste. So we have this. So remember this other section. So we're going to make it equal, or we're going to delete this section. And we're going to delete this. So it's going to reformat the settings. So now we have two different sections inside this rule here that we have. So for explanation's sake, this is this role, this is this other role that's at top of here inside one big role, right, in one section. So we have a text here and we have a spacer, then we have a text here as well. So I'm going to be doing that. So let me copy so we don't come back here empty-handed again. So first I am going to create a text paragraph. I'm going to paste it. Then there's a spacer. There are two different kinds of spacer. There's a divider and there's a spacer. So I think we used spacer before. So I think we're going to be using a divider. Yeah, spacer, divider, they do almost the same thing. This time around, this one is a little bit different. This one shows you a line that you can see here, right? So this one shows you a line. Yeah, so let's make that line visible. So we're going to check our design again to make sure we are aligned. So, okay, we are actually aligned. So we now have two separate thingy we have an info box that carries an image information and we have an icon here. So but the first thing is we need to export. Let me just export these two images. So we don't need to come back to export them again. I think I'm starting to like SVGs. Okay, so we're going to work on this. So let's do that quickly. So now this thing here, the height is okay, but I think it needs to cut across both sides. So yes, don't worry. I know that there's a space from this side to this side. There's a way you go around that. So the next thing is the info box. So we're going to reduce this size. I want to change it from just a normal block like this to this advanced text, then paragraph. So I want to make it smaller. Let me give it 12. And the distance between these two, I can use the margin to do that. So at the bottom. Okay. So next is the info box. So by default, the info box comes like this, but I need it to be like this. Yeah, this is what we want. And okay, before we bring the info box, there's a problem. You know, the info box and one other stuff are on the same line. So I just remember that. So we have to bring in a rule too, because that's the only way we can put two separate things, you know, on its line. Then we bring in the info box, so the info box will sit on this line, and the other, that's the icon box too, would sit on this other side. So now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to start working on this. We are going to, first of all, if we go to the general side, let's see if there's anything for us to do here. No, do we have an info box that looks similar to this? Okay, we had info box, but it's not the same thing. So we would have just duplicated it. So we have to do this from scratch. The background, we are not using borders, 0. Then no bag. Okay, let me just give it background white just in case. Then let me see, radius. That's background. If you notice, there's the curve here. So let me change the color so you see what I'm talking about. There is a curve there. Then we are going to link all of them and give it 0. Then I'm going to check for media. I think we are done with this. Let's get back to white media. Then put it down to 0 in a way. We're going to change that to image. Then I'm going to bring in one of both images. Okay, so the first image we are going to select. Is me or that image is too small? Okay, then is that how small the image is? Okay, we are going to reduce the title. I think by the time we reduce the title to give it more space, let's give it small. Let's give it 14 first, then the text in the body, small. Let's give it 12. So then another thing again we can work on is, initially we had, I think we had spaces at the left hand and right hand side. So let's see if we reduce that. It should give our stuff breathing space for now. And then when we are ready to fix that. Yeah, I could see that it gave this guy a lot of breathing space. Okay, so I want to be first with this. Then let's fix in our header and body text. Okay, so as you see, as the difference is coming in, it's a little bit much better. Then there's a distance between the media and I think we need to re-upload this image. It's looking like, I want to make sure it is out. Whatever shadow it has, I want to turn it off. Same with this. I'm going to take them both out, turn off the shadows. I want to export them as images. Let me see if that would change anything. JPEG, save. So let's try this again. Yes, replace. So let's try this again. Image. I'm going to delete both of them later on and open it. Oh, okay. The background is white, so it doesn't matter. I'm supposed to export as PNG. So, okay. You see, automatically we didn't even do anything and it has already resized itself. So the problem was the SVG was kind of a little bit large. So we we're not able to do what we wanted to do. And if you check now, we can adjust this thing to the left hand side and we don't have issues with it. So, okay, let's leave it at 1. Then what else did we need to do here? We have to, on the title, just trying to check something. Okay, so now we can read. I want to reduce the spacings between this. So this is the margin. So at least, yeah, looks much better like that. Then I think this is everything for this. Yeah, no later spacing. Then the last but not the least icon, and we are looking for a star icon. That shouldn't be okay. Star, sorry, I spelled it wrong. So you could see that we have different star. So we have to look for this, and I think how many do we have of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. Okay, it is this kind of star that was there, and you can duplicate it. Sorry, you can duplicate it as 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I'm always pressing 4. Then the fifth star. So the fifth star is not full, so we're gonna give it this. Yep. Yeah. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna change the color to, okay, I would have changed the color before duplicating. Yeah, so it's gonna be the same thing. So we have to, okay, we would have to edit them one by one. Jeez. Okay, that was my mistake. So you, before duplicating, make sure you put in the right color. Okay, Then this, yep, okay. We have the general star, we have everything. And again, there's, okay, I think there's one way to go about it. So there's another thing again I missed, which is the size. Let's give it 15. I'm just going to copy instead of me doing it over and over again. I'll just tap paste. Let me see if I can copy one. Oh, yeah, paste both of them. Let me paste. I don't think it changed. Okay, I didn't change it. So now the next thing we're going to do is, this is we did a rule here. That's a good thing for doing rules. So this rule, we're going to make everything align to the middle. Get it? Then we check our design to see if it's same thing. Okay, the last star was actually a normal star, but it was faint. Okay. The last star was a normal star. Let's give it a normal star. I know you guys might be screaming, it's a normal star, but it's faint. Yeah, something like that. Let me give this. No, this is it's faint. So we can leave it like this, right? So we can leave it like this. Then we can come back here. That's to this whole rule and try to do this we initially did in the beginning. We initially had. I want to check something. Okay, so we don't need it to be too tight. As x as extra small. Am I sure? Okay, we can also adjust this to come. So it's going to start coming from the left hand side. So let's check if there's anything on the right hand side and on the left hand side. Okay, we've done that. Then I think let's check if the image has anything on, like a border on the right hand side. Oh, sorry, on the left hand side. Yeah. Okay, we've done that. Then let's go back to this again and extend it. Let's see. XL. Let's give it 3 times extra large, 3 times extra large. Let's see if that would work. Let me even push it to the very end. Let's give it a try again. Okay, good. It actually did work. It did work. Okay. Good. The next thing that we are going to do is, I think the spacings between that stop is kind of much. Okay. So is there anything that we need? I think there's a difference between yes, the background is different and the difference between this. So let's try get that. So this background, the whole of this background is different from the rest. Okay. So all the things you were hiding would come to light. Okay, and so we're going to give it a background, and we're going to give it, so it's not hard. Sorry. Okay, we're going to give it that. We're going to increase it a little bit more. And don't worry, I know what to do. I'm going to make sure here that the initial one we gave this is going to reduce. So if I do XL3 and XL3, I think we got a good one. Yeah, we got a good one. Then we'll have to do what do they call this, border. Then the border here, we would increase the border. That is too much. I think the border had a stroke. Yeah, it had a stroke by the edges. So we're going to give it, let's give it this. That is too much. Okay, that didn't show. Let me just give it this, then reduce the opacity. So around, this is 23%. Okay, I think this is closer to what we have. This is closer to what we have, and I think this is already looking beautiful. So here we have to adjust something again. You have to keep adjusting till you get everything right. So here I think the bottom and the top, let's give it 10. Let's give the bottom 10, the top 10. Right, at least it gave it that distance. So once we are done, let's check. Okay, we're done at the bottom here. And okay, let me check the distance with this. Now, I think the distance problem will be coming from here, top margin. I think, yeah, okay. Let's just have it like this. I think this is fair enough. So we check our design again to make sure. This is a customized feedback section or testimonial. So let's just copy this. So we duplicate, copy an empty place, then we paste. Let me see if the text I copied will paste here. No, okay. I have to copy the text, copy it, paste. I'll do this quick. Copy. Okay, there we go. Then image, you'd replace it with her. And voila, we have this. We are done with this and we are on to our last section. So our last section is going to be this section, and let's get going without wasting time. So the last section almost looks like this. The only difference is there is a button and this may not be included. So should we duplicate this or should we just duplicate this? Let's duplicate this. So we duplicate this. You have two of it, and you see that this is this here. What we have to do is we can drag this to the bottom just with this, and it just comes down. Simple. Voila. Then the next thing is we can delete this. Yes, we can delete this because what we are bringing in is not a big deal. So we just copy this, paste, then copy this, paste. So what we're bringing in is a form. So the thing is we are going to be restricted in a kind of form we can create. So yeah, we are going to delete. Of recent, this thing has been having issues. It doesn't show. There are details here. There's a button that will show you cancel, remove. In probably yours, you may not have the issue, but there are buttons here. So I'm going to delete this because I know that they are here. Probably maybe it's due to my recording, or yeah, you can have it here. So this is this button. You may be asking, okay, how do we bring this guy here? That's the button. So we are going to work on it. So the first thing is, if you come here, this is a name field. So we have to change this to an email field. So once we change this to an email field, you can make it required or not. We don't make it required because it's a submit field. So the next thing is we have to make this, let's say 50. Let's give it 60. All right. Let me try. Okay. I think 60. Then check if everything is okay for now. Okay, so we check everything and make sure everything. So everything here, meaning this is after submitting the form. What does this mean? Email, meaning you collect the person's email, you can redirect them to somewhere, and you can see more of these options. So I think with the pro versions, you have more options here, but the free version, this is what they give us. So we are going to change this. Okay, I think we're going to change this to email, and yeah, the field is supposed to show. So I'm coming. Let me come down to field, input color. Input color is dark. That's the input color. Then I'm trying to check if there's anything that we need to change. Label needs to be white. Do we have a label on our design? Let's check. Okay, no, we don't have a label. But we have to leave it white so that we know that it's there. so we turn it off when needed. Then this is the submit button. So if you notice, we have this here. Then what we can do is, since I think, what did we give? What did we give here? Let's quickly check that. We gave it 60. So if we come here and say, okay, let's give this, yes, 40, just general mass. Okay, so that's general mass. We just give it 40. Then we can change the font size, submit size. The button size can be small or big, but I think this big gives it the same length as this. Then I'm checking if there's any other thing for us to do. Let me increase the font size to small a little bit. If it's not matching this, then we would adjust this. Then the next thing that we have to do, so if you notice there's a distance between here and here, so we're going to go to field, and I think field gap, we're going to reduce this. So now you could see that these guys are on the same path. Then we can now tap on an empty space and see the distance between this, and we would adjust that because we already used small here. Of that, I think this is much better. So with, what do they call it? WordPress, we can only get this type of button. So maybe probably with other buttons, take for example, using third-party buttons, you can actually get away with more, right? You can actually get away with more. But for now, this is what you probably have. So you can disable, if you can turn off label, we can then placeholder text. We can have it as enter email. Enter email. Is that what we have here? Let's check. Okay, enter your email. Okay, so enter your email, then you click on submit. Then in order to position it, we can come to our advanced, then push it to a good position that we want. So if we update it, we can have this. We've not updated in a while, and if this system had crashed, we would have been sorry for ourselves. So you have this, you can fill in your information and click submit. So we have this, and this is all for this. The next section we're going to do, we are going to make this mobile responsive. Yep, we didn't forget mobile responsive. We need to make it that. So anytime someone makes use of it from both mobile or desktop, it can use it. Some things will be cool. You could see that some things are already cool, while some things may be lost because I'm not seeing some things right now. So let's get to it. Okay, so in optimizing the home page, we would come to this place and click on preview. So we check on tablet and we'll check on mobile. I think sometimes once you can work on tablet, it's you fix it on mobile. So remember we had this here. So we just work on this, and I think it's going to be fixed. Let's check for mobile. It's already fixed on mobile. That's good. So what other place did we have problem? So tablet here too. So did we do anything here? Okay, yes, we did it on the text and not the section itself. Okay, we did that, and let's check for mobile. Yeah, we're fine for mobile. Let's go. There is so much space here. What is in this place? I'm coming. Let me go to tablet. Oh, oh wow. Okay, that was a big shrinking. Okay, there is a lot to do here. So the right hand side, we are going to remove it. Left hand side, we're going to remove it. So, and same thing here. There's something I want to do here. So irrespective of, it's going to be this. So irrespective of whether mobile or desktop, going to be this. I'm going to show you why in a moment. So we'll do the same thing to here. Adjust it, adjust it, make it this, adjust it, make it this. So let's see if we push it to mobile, if there'll be any sense of it. Okay, so to mobile, we'll make it this. You could see to mobile, we'll make it this. Because the text is quite long, that is why it's doing that in the other side. So I might leave it. Okay. So I might leave it because the text is kind of long. Because if you start adjusting the text, you have to adjust it for everyone. But at least we have this smooth. I love mobile designs. Okay. There is something I am noticing that hasn't coming. The reason I'm doing this is my stuff isn't coming up to save. I need to know why is that. Okay, let's keep going. This here on tablets is fine, and the mobile, let's check. It disappeared on mobile. Let's check desktop. Why did it disappear on us? Did you have the same thing? Yeah, they had the same thing. They had the same thing. Good. Spread very well. Then on mobile, this is lovely. So same thing we're going to do here. On desktop, let's see how much we can reduce here. Even with the adjustments, I don't know if, because there's some things that would adjust for mobile and also adjust for web, right? But while some things don't do that. So for the case of this, this is going to affect everything and not just mobile. I'm not just tablet alone. So let me see if the text, the header text can be adjusted for just one type of design. Okay, for tablets, we had to make it very small in order to achieve that. That's not a good thing. Okay, there's something I want to try. Let's give this more priority. Good, fix that with that. So all I just did was I gave more priority to this section than this other section. So why it's not working for this is because this is kind of long in a way. Okay, so what I remove the spacings between this and this, at least should get the job done, at least. So we'll do that. Then for mobile, let's, oh, thank God the update came. I just noticed that I was already getting scared. I was not able to update my settings. Okay, for mobile, let's see how cute that will be. Or we'll just leave it in this format because for mobile, we would have issues placing them line by line together. Yeah, I kind of noticed that. So for mobile, we'll kind of leave it this way. At least it's a little bit much better here like this, because if we align both of them on one side, it will not balance because the both contents are quite much. Yeah. So update again. At every time I can, I would update. So for both mobile and tablets, we will just remove the padding we gave here. So there was a padding from the left, so just adjust it and everybody will be fine. Let's see. Yep, everybody's fine. You can also test this with your phone, but this stimulator emulator would give us close to what we are looking for. So you have responsive. So if you think the space between the top and the bottom is too much, you can adjust it. So you can choose different phones. Let's go with iPhone 13. Okay, I think we need to reduce for both. I think this we can ship it to around 100. 100 should be fine. Let me refresh. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, everybody looks fine. Yeah, these guys look fine. Look fine. They look fine. They look lovely, jovely. Love this. Really love this. Love this. Like, man, this is looking profesh. So we have this, and this is your home page. So we are done with the home page, and our home page is looking fine. So the only thing that we're going to do again is we are going to connect. Take for example now, if someone click on our services, it's not going to go to anywhere. And this is the services that we provide down here, right? So from seed, shipment. So how do we do that? So for optimization, we are going to come down to services. So this on the role section here, we're going to go to settings, and we're going to go to advanced, and we're going to give this a name. We're going to call this, I think our service is okay. Service. Okay. Copy. And you see it's going to be here, our service updates, come down here. Then okay, we are going to also call here contact. We'll do the same thing from here, and we'll come down to HTML and call here contact. If you use small letter, use small letter. If you use large letters, that's capital letters or initial cap, the same way you do it here is the same way you're going to fill it where I'm about to fill it. So you click on save. Then we are going to come to customize. So do you remember the menu that we did custom stuffs to? So if you click here, just click this button, or you can come here, click this, and just simply come to select menu and edit menu. So when you click on edit menu, remember our custom link. So what we're going to do is you just put let me just put hash this, then I'm going to copy this. So sorry, I'm going to copy this and put it in the front here. Let me check if I got this correctly. Let me publish, and let me go to home. So if we click here, it goes down here. I want to see if I'm able to work on this. So if you click on it, it goes there. Then same thing we're going to do to our contacts. Contact is here. Then copy this, paste it. Oh wait. I think there was a mistake in this link. There was a mistake. It did not copy what I asked it to copy. You copy this because I was surprised. Publish. If you click on contacts, it takes you down to contact. So work on the title. So here we're going to work on the colors. So if we come down here, so because these guys are always active, we would come here and change our own active color to this is over. Then I think to make it a little bit over is not even working. Yeah, when it comes to custom links, they are always giving their issues. So what we can do is we can put it on underline, but these guys are always going to be active. So we just leave it like this so that it's not going to cause much confusion. So if we leave it at the home page, it's going to be here. So if you come to service, it's going to go to service. If we do contact, it's going to go to contact. So that's a little bit with WordPress, because to start manipulating this to stay in a particular this thing, we have to go down to code and the rest. But for this, you can click on this and you have your home page. Then if you go to package, we would be able to go to our package. So let's close this. Let's see if we have done everything and see if we are not forgetting anything. All right. So if you want to do anything, all you just have to do is check everything and make sure all your buttons are clicking to where they are supposed to be clicking to. So if you have learn more and other more pages, you have to make sure all of them are working well. So let's get to the next chapter. So in this chapter, we're going to be talking about the shipment plugin, the plugin that allows us to have the shipment functionalities. So The first thing we have to do is that we're going to go to plugin. Then we are going to go to add new. Then you're going to search WP Cargo. Okay, so you don't keep space. Then after you search WP Cargo, you can click on install. So this particular plugin allows you to track and trace your shipments, and you can also attach this to an existing e-commerce website. So you can, for every time someone make a purchase, you can say, okay, this is your tracking code, and you can update it and say, okay, this is where the goods have gone to, this is how far the goods have, been. So when you install it, it's going to give you three options or two. Yeah. So you're going to have shipment and you're going to have WP cargo. So the first thing we have to do is come to WP cargo here. And here you could see that you can add things like shipments. So this time around, you are seeing freight, international shipment, truckload, van. You can use boats, or if you ship by boat, or you ship by railway. So let's shoot railway. I think that's the only thing that is foreign here. Then you can by train, you can put train. So you can have put location. I think almost all the location in the world are here, but whatever location you want. So if your business is, our business name is Rapid Cargo, we can just put RC to, like, this is our own stuff. Okay. Then whatever payment method you receive, whether you receive payments through cash, check, even let's just put B2C. So whatever payments you have here. So shipment status, there are different kind of shipment status that are there. Then add your shipment logo. You're going to upload your logo. You're going to upload this. Select. Then shipment tracking page. We're going to leave this page empty for now. Then you just leave here. Then this is a short code. If you want to put this in any site, you can use this short code to put it. Then you can come down here and enable restrict duplicate shipping number. Yes, very important. Shipments. So we are RC. Then you can put cargo, you can put age, whatever you want here, and the shipping number, we can make it 6 depending. Base color. So if you want the color of the website, that's your brand color, you can impute it here. Let me get it for us. We come to color, come here, and copy. So we come here, I was asking for base color, come here and fix it. So I'm trying to see if size, just keep size 14. Just trying to see, allow rows to update shipment history depending on who is in your shipment. You have shipment rows and the rest, so you can allow them. So you can say assign shipment emails, disable email for employee, disable email for agents, disable email for clients. It depends on you. The settings depend on what, and you can come around and test and see which works for you and which doesn't work for you. So when you are done, you click on save so that your stuffs won't go away. Then you come to multi settings. So if you have enable multiple that, if check, you'll be able to enable the multiple package that's shipping more than one item at the same time. Then this is units and everything. So piece type, you have crate, you have carton, whatever thing you would want to add, you can add to it. So why I like this plugin, it's highly customizable, and this is the free plan. They have a paid plan. So enable shipping map. There will be map on this side, but I think you need some Google API keys to get that done. So we'll just leave here for now. So this is like the email that goes to clients. So like, for example, now select shipment status to send email notification. When a shipment is pending, it is out for delivery, it is cancelled, you can select which one you want them to have a notification for. Then you can put your default email address here. Then any other information that you want to have, like message content, you can come here to edit it. depending on how you want. Then the footer, depending on how you want the message to be, you can have this. So then the person will be sent the subject as your tracking number. Then you click on save. Then admin, same thing. As an admin, to whatever information is being pushed out, you can click and save whatever you want to save. So this is just for the settings, nothing too much. I think on the pro plan you have other settings. So if you come to shipment, so where the most important thing. So take for example now someone bought something from you and you want to, let's say we sell cartons of. And we had a client that bought some cartons of stuffs, and we can just come here to create shipment. So take for example, automatically it creates, you see it starts with RC, then the cargo stuff, it automatically creates a shipment number. If you don't like it, you can remove it. So when you are done, you can see that there is a shipper details, receiver details, very, very elaborate and everything. You can fill in everything. So everything you want here, it's actually here. Like shipment history, package, everything is here. So you can come here and put in the shipper name. So who is shipping the product? Let's say Mr. John. I'm just going to put different things: phone number, address, number, be big streets, then email, let's see, John at federal housing. No, John at, let me just put gmail.com. It's not like it's going to send to an actual John at gmail.com. Well, it might. So this is the shipper details and this is the receiver details. Receiver details maybe Mrs. John and just putting numbers there. Address number 7 Old Kinta Street. Email, let's say Margaret. Just put John at gmail.com. So we have this, then you can select shipment type. Remember, let's say it's going through railway. You can put in the weight, you can put in the courier, you can put the package, you can select mode. It's going by train. Let's just put it like 10. Let's just put anything. But you need to know all these details in real life. Courier, let's leave that empty. Package, uh let's say beans, canned beans, canned beans, products, beans. Man, those of you that feel things, quality, okay, quantity, just say 5. Payment mode, I'm paying in cash. Carrier, we are using our own carrier, we're not using any other carrier. Then reference number, you can leave it. Departure time, so you can say, okay, what time is it going to leave? We can say by the morning, let's say by 8 a.m. Origin, where is it departing from? We can say United Kingdom to destination. Let's just say United Kingdom to Nigeria. Let me rep our people. So Mrs. John is staying in. Okay. Then pickup dates. Let's just say pickup date is on Saturday. Time in the evening. Let's just say by 19. Expected delivery dates. We can say the delivery dates that we're going to expect this is going to be we choose Saturday, right? It's just Saturday. So comments, we don't have any comments. You can comment on what you want to comment. Then the most important thing here is you can say, okay, if you have an employee or someone, you can put client, you can create a client listing so that you can always, you know, each client would have a name in the system. So, but this one is just a normal shipment. So we just leave it there. The employee you can assign to an employee if you want. So, but for now, we just leave it. And if you want to do that, we can create them here. Open this, that's user. If you click on add user, if you come down here, you can create a client, an agent, an employee. And once you create it, it's going to be in your system. so you can always update that particular package and that particular client. Yeah. So the next thing is very, very important. Current status. This is the time. Then status. This is the first status. This is pending. You know when you see something in Jumia and the rest. So the status currently it's pending. We can put it in pending. At this time of the day, we check everything. If there are categories, you can create categories, and you can create package if you want the package type, the weight, length, and everything. If you have all this data, like for example, now we have it's five cartons, can beans. Then length, I don't know the length, weight, and all this. You just put it there. So okay, okay. So at the end of the day, you would save. First of all, save. Then once we save, we can now publish. So now this particular shipment has been published. So now, if you want to see this shipment, you would ask yourself how. If you come to all shipments, you could see it here. There's no shipment owner because we didn't add the shipment owner, and this is so we only have the shipper's name, who is the agent, and everything. So if you want to do a full business, you would have all this, right? So, and this is the invoice. That's one thing I love about this. You can click on this to see the invoice. So you could see the invoice like very, very smooth, even your website name, everything. You could see everything. You can print it. Then you can also see the way bill. You know, when you want to way bill something, you can see this is for the account copy that's consignee, the shipper's copy. You can, you know, when you are doing Jumia stuff, you can see all these things on Jumia and everything. Yeah, this is how it is. So you have all the details, the time for pickup and every other thing, and reference number, everything you want for it to be here. So you can print if this is going to be on the product, you can also send this directly to the clients via email and everything, depending on how you want it. So that is why I usually like this plugin for shipment. So the next thing is we actually take, for example, now you ship this to the client, and the client is like, okay, how do I track my shipment? How do I even know how far? Right? So the client needs to have a front end place where if he imputes this track ID, he'll be able to get it. So how do we go about this? So we're going to go to our pages. Remember this track page we created, right? So we can open it, we can view it. Originally, it created its own. When we installed the plugin, there's nothing here. It created a track page. We can go look at it. You see that there's the tracking number and everything here, but let's do this manually ourselves and see how it looks like. So we're going to create a tracking page. So this is the page here. And remember, so there is a tracking page ID. So we're going to copy this tracking page ID because this is what we're going to use. So we can come here and let's edit this page. So I'm going to do a very simple stuff, nothing too complex. So we're going to create a role. Then, okay, we can make it 3. Yeah, I like this. Then we can make it 100. There's a reason why 100. Then we would call this track and trace. Then we're going to make this let's give it around, I think, H3. Then we're going to centralize it. Then in the background, we're just going to add a package. Okay. Then you can change this color to white. So now track and trace shipment. Let's check what it looks like in the site. Okay, so we have some things to work on. First, there is a space here, and we need to work on some other things here. So how do we go about that? First, we would click on this. Then first we make it full width. We update. Let's see what that has done first. You see that it has given it this. So now this spacing, we have to work on it. So we have to come down here, and it is the vertical spacing. We are disabling it. You see, I immediately just jumped up here. So we would come here to refresh. So when we come here to refresh, we would this is where we're going to put the code. So we're going to duplicate this again, but this time around we're going to remove the background, and we're going to make it very tight. I need it to be very, very tight. Then I'm going to remove the background, style, remove. Then okay, we don't even need this, delete. So we are going to add a short code. So remember that tracking this thing is, this is where we're going to update it. Then if we refresh, we have our tracking number here. So you can, add more things here to make it good, but this, to me, this is fine. Then if you come here and come to our shipment, say for example, I give the client the shipping ID, the client will just come here and put in here and click on track. Okay, so you click on it, then you could see the logo and all the shipment information that you need for the site. So everything. So the person can print this and note. The person also has his information. So this is how you track your ID. So some websites, they don't, some websites by default, you just see it in your they give you update email, like this is where it has gotten, this is how far. So you can come here and see pending, and let's say the shipment moved from pending to on route status. So now the status is, let's say 1011. The status is now on route, and I click on update. So if the person comes here and click on track shipment, you can see that the shipment has changed to be in route. So this is how to create. This plugin helps you to have a shipment functionalities, and let's check for the mobile and see for the mobile everything is intact. So at the end of the day, when you have your shipment running, you can choose to turn on this plugin. So this particular plugin is for migration, all-in-one migration. So you can just activate it, and when you activate it, you could see it here. You can use this to back up your site. You can import, backup, and export. So if you want to, when you finish backing up, you come down here and create a backup. So I don't want to back up, but if you create a backup, it will start, doing its thing. So you can download the backup if you want. Then when you download backup, if you want to import it, you can come back to your site and import your full site just in case of any issue. So you can have more than one backup point. You don't have to rely on that. Then Lightspeed, it's cache plugin. You can reactivate it when you are done with the whole site. Then use SEO is more like having SEO in your site to make sure your site has good ranking. So you can use this or use other SEO paid plugins, and you can add an extra security to your site by using, I think it should be in one of the popular plugins. Yeah, so WP hide login. So this is very, very important for every site. So if you activate it, you can change, when you want to log in, we always use WP admin. So if you come to settings, you can come to WPS hide login, and you can use the word login. So instead of WP admin, so this is what I recommend. So if there's anything, we can always update the course, and we can always put things that were not touched